Stop using mustard. If you've been doing barbecue for a while, you've heard use mustard as a binder on your ribs because it develops a better bark, and the vinegar in this helps tenderize your ribs and you end up with a better product. Today, we've got mustard side versus naked side, cooked identical, and we're gonna find out if that's really true. Let's get into it. What's up, barbecue fans? My name is Jake, and today we're talking about this yellow bottle right here. If you've been doing ribs for a while, or even if it's your first time, if you go scour some videos on YouTube, you're gonna see people put yellow mustard on the ribs, and they're gonna say, don't worry, if you don't like mustard, you won't taste it. But there is some opinions on using this as a binder, and some people say that because there's vinegar in it, it tenderizes your meat, and some people say it builds a better bark. Now, I use mustard, I don't know, 15 years or something. Honestly, probably closer to 20. Then one day I was out of mustard, I didn't use it, and I couldn't tell the difference. So I really never went back to wasting mustard. Not that it's expensive, but I'm not sure that I see the value. That being said, I have never done them side by side, and that's what we're gonna do today. So I'm gonna find out for myself. I'll tell you, it won't come across on the microphone, but it is 60-mile-an-hour gusts out there. It is 10 Fahrenheit right now, which is just almost minus 13 Celsius. It is friggin' cold out there. So we slow started our Komodo Kamado a little while ago. I'm also doing a brisket video today. So what I did there is we put some big old chunks of oak near the bottom, and then I put in some Bear Mountain lump. Fortunately, I ran out. I thought to myself the other day, I was like, man, I should order some. I think I'm probably low, and I ran out. Luckily, I had a little bit of Fogo left over, so I dumped that on top. Then I took my Grill Blazer grill gun, and we just got a little small spot started for like 30 seconds. I don't want to get this up to temperature too quickly, right? It is freezing outside, so you will really want to bring them up to temperature, any type of Kamado, a little slower in these extreme temperatures. I opened up the top vent a turn and the bottom vent an eighth of a turn, let it come up to about 200 degrees over the course of 35 minutes. I also put a big old chunk of oak on top of it to add some more smoke to it. So I just got done doing that. We're locking in our temperatures. We got to look at these ribs. So these are Berkshire ribs. If you've been around for a while, you know that I like to buy higher quality pork, Berkshire, Komodo, whatever. I like the texture, the flavor, the color, and the end result. It's just a better product. It's well worth it. You know, lots of people go and buy prime steaks or prime briskets, then you go into dry age, you go to American Wagyu and kind of down a long list. But when it comes to chicken and pork, people kind of don't think about it that way, which I never understood. But there is definitely a difference. I mean, you can see in the color alone, these are always a lot pinker and redder. It's going to be a little sweeter, but it's going to be a little tender, more tender as well. And the other thing is, if you're doing like a pork butt, if you just buy commodity pork, I'm always taking out a lot of junk that I don't want to eat, like stringy fats and whatnot. When you use something like this, there's hardly any waste. I obviously have 2 racks here. These are baby backs. This is going to be for another video, so we're going to put that off to the side for a sec here. Then we're going to get into the next controversial thing here. I am not removing the membrane. I have a whole video of this when I did it with St. Louis. I didn't remove the membrane for probably 10 to 15 years, and all of a sudden I got on my food porn and saw someone remove it, and I was like, oh, I guess you're supposed to remove it. And like lots of people remove it. It comes from competition. Backyard barbecue and competition barbecue are 2 completely different things. Competition barbecue is about one bite. They over-season them, they inject them, they remove the membrane. Like they want the absolute perfect bite. In the backyard, you want to enjoy a rack of ribs or half a rack of ribs. I mean, when I was younger, I'd eat this whole thing. Maybe I'd probably eat half today. But you know, you want to be able to enjoy it. Leaving on that membrane helps leave in some of the moisture, can't leak out the bottom. I'm going to be cooking these at 275 closer to the fire. We got a hot side here on our left on our Komodo Kamado. Then I got my brisket, and then I've got my cold side. We're pretty close to that, and we're at 275. If you were cooking these at 225 the entire time, yeah, that membrane is going to be a little bit of a nasty thing to deal with, right? It's going to be maybe a little chewy, and you're really going to notice it. If you're doing it at higher temperatures, it becomes crispy and melts away. It's just collagen. The last thing I'll say about the membrane, and I have a whole video about this, is lots of people argue that the membrane blocks smoke. That's bullshit. I tested it side by side. No difference whatsoever. I'll put the video up here. Maybe I'll link it to the end if you're really curious about it, but that's not true. With all that being said, we are going to try a new rub today. This is, what is it? Burnt Finger Barbecue, Smoky KC Barbecue Rub out of Kansas City. I'm not going to be using any sauce today because I want to just look at the bark. Every once in a while, I get a craving to try some new seasonings, and I just ordered a whole bunch and read some reviews, and this gets some good reviews, so we're going to try it out. What we're going to do is we're going to put some mustard on half this guy. I can easily tell which end is which because I'm going to use the smaller end, but I won't know where it stops. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a toothpick. I'm going to put it right here. Okay. That way I'm almost half and half. And I will know that this side doesn't have any mustard on it. I'll take this guy. Now, if your ribs are dry and the seasoning is not sticking, a little bit of water is your friend. You're probably prepping in the kitchen. The water's really close. That's about the one thing I see, right off the bat is it will stick a little bit better, but I don't think the end result is much different. Wasn't going to season this size yet. And then I was like, oh, we'll just do it all at once. But look, the other thing people say about the membrane is that it blocks seasoning and whatnot. It's like 98% bone back there. So there's not too much going on. It's almost not even needed to season the back. But what we'll do is we'll come back over here and we'll continue on with our mustard application here. One of the things I want to do this year with the channel is do a little bit more educational stuff. And, I'm not knocking competition or anything. Just there's this bad trend of people adopting it backyard barbecue and thinking that all those rules are gospel. It's barbecue, folks. There's no right or wrong reason. My way is not the right way. But I've done a bunch of testing, and I'm telling you that there's not the differences that people are telling you that there is or that you think there are. All you gotta do is try it for yourself. And what I will do is I'm gonna put just a little bit of moisture on here. Now I gotta wash my hand. Now what we're gonna do, the most important part, let this rest. We've got salt in there. Salt's gonna pull out some moisture and help that tack up and pull a little bit of seasoning into it. So we're gonna wait 15 minutes before we do anything else, and you'll see the change in color when I show you in 15. So here they are after 15 minutes. As you can see, that salt is in its job, pulled out some moisture and dried up a lot of our rub here. On the mustard side, there's a little bit less dry. I did not pat these in or anything off camera. In fact, the only thing I did is I saw a spot where it kind of was light over here on the mustard side, and there was one side on the edge here was a little bit light. Other than that, I have not touched these. But I wanted to kind of show you them side by side to see if you can really see that much of a difference at the gate. This is not the important part. It's the end product that matters. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw these guys on the Komodo Kamado, and we're going to put them closer to the fire on the cool side though. And right now our dome temp is about 260. So I'm going to slowly push that up some more to about 275, 280 dome temp. And we're going to let these guys roll. So real quick, before I pick these up to put them on the Komodo Kamado, I was like, you know what? Let me just pushing some of this rub because I don't want to waste it, right? And it pushes in everywhere, no problem. So if I just patted these before, that would have been fine. Now, you can't tell the difference, except for I notice there's a little spot down here that's all mustard that for those of you at home are probably going, do the side. There you go. Okay, we'll get the little side there. I didn't see it until I was on that side of the camera. But look, looks pretty much identical. Let's put these on the Komodo Kamado. I'll see you in a bit. All right, so it's been about 3 hours and 40 minutes. I just pulled these guys off. They're done. No spraying, no looking, too damn cold. Around 3 hours, I checked on them. They had a little ways to go. I used my Typher Instaprobe here and just kind of probed around. We're looking for a couple things, right? These were about 198, but we're also looking for very tender meat, right? This tells you the temperature, but it also tells you how tender the meat is. It's very critical to use these. You can't tell by your eyes. The next step is we want to let these guys rest. Okay, so I'm going to wrap them back up. They probably dropped 15 degrees on the 30-second walk in the house, but we're going to let them rest for a good 15 minutes. All right, so our ribs have rested for 15 minutes. It's time to try them. I don't know. You tell me, but here is some up close and personal shots of these ribs, and I gotta tell you, when I look at them, I can't tell a difference whatsoever. I mean, if you draw a line between the side that's got mustard and the side that doesn't, you can't tell. In fact, if I don't tell you which is which and you don't remember, you probably would have no idea. But this is the side with mustard. This is the side with not. Now, they've dried out a little bit. I was shooting an intro and some B-roll. That's not going to affect the flavor. It just affects the pretty picture that we would have. Now what we're going to do is we're going to try them. I've got, if you remember, I put a toothpick here so that this side is my mustard. And what I'll do is I will to cut right along that line, okay? Right in the middle. Okay? Mustard side, not mustard side. All right? You can see, nice juicy rib. A little smoke in there. I'm going to cut myself a super big right against the bone kind of rib there so I can try on the other side. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. That way, the part that I try, there's no way there's any mustard on it. All right? So, which one do I want to try first? I'm going to try this side. All right? Nice and juicy. Look, there's your membrane. Whoops. Your membrane there, nice and crunchy. No problems. It was a good rib. It's a nice rub, actually. Finishing with a little bit of heat, but pretty good. I don't have a dry rib too often, but that is actually quite good. I do like that. All right. Let's clean my palate. Cheers. Let's try the mustard that is going to be oh so much better. I cannot tell a difference whatsoever. Not single-digit percentages, a nuance, nothing. They taste exactly the same. They're both tender. You look at the bottom, they look the same. You look at the top, I mean, I got a slow-mo shot going across the front of the ribs, and you can see the toothpick, and I guarantee you there's absolutely no way that you can see a difference. And now that I'm trying them side by side, I can't taste a difference whatsoever. I am not going to go back to use a binder. I thought if I found something that maybe there was some truth to it, maybe I start using mustard again. I'm not going to waste my mustard. Don't see any point to it. If you need a little bit of tack to it, add some water. You're going to turn out an amazing product as long as you cook it right. I'm calling this myth busted. If you want to see another myth busted, check out this video right here. I show you that the membrane doesn't actually stop smoke penetration. Thanks as always for watching. I'll see you soon.